Hello and thanks for joining me. Well, this is going to be kind of a different video. I built a rider table several years ago and I'm really pleased with the design. And I'll show you a little bit about that in a minute. But the fence on it, I never really liked. So I'm modifying the fence, and I started doing it, and then I thought, well, some of the viewers might be interested in making their own rider table, and at least the fence idea, well, the whole rider table, you know, might be some food for thought. Help you design your own version of this type of rider table. Anyway, let me show you the rider table, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the fence. Okay, here's the fence I'm going to redesign. There's a dust port there, and I've got a couple of clamps here, and I can move it this way. Here's the bit, right there. This way is not really a problem. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's square to the bit or not. But if you're using a miter gauge on the top, then this needs to be square to the miter gauge. Now I know there's no miter gauge on this, but I do have a provision for that in this rider table. So I need this to be square. So this is what we're replacing right here. And then, well, let me show you the rest of this rider table. Okay, this rider table is what I call a lift top design. I've got a double layer of this particle board. It's a waterproof type particle board, chipboard, whatever. Double layer. I think Formica on the top would be ideal. I put a Varathane or a polyurethane finish on it. But anyway, it's a lift top design. It's easy access to the rider bit. I've made the lift on a couple of really expensive surplus slides that most people don't have access to, which is one reason I've never made a video on it. There were some that were tossed by industry and I grabbed them. But I got a chain drive on it to this adjustment here, and it's got a gear ratio so that one turn is 1/16 of an inch, which is pretty handy for woodworking. But right here I got a linear slide bar, and it flips up. Let me close the table. I got the table on cylinders where it's easier to lift up. But this flips up and slides. And that allows me to, some dust on it, but that allows me to route the end of a piece of wood squarely. But because of this, I need the table to be square. So I can run a piece of wood up to here and slide across and not fight the misalignment of the fence. So this fence is what I'm going to redesign today. Okay, I've removed the fence that I had on here before, and this is what I've got so far. This is 3-inch square tubing, again surplus tubing. Came from some racks in industry, hold loads of pallets. But I'm going to use this as my fence, and I've taken a hole saw and cut there and cut there, and then I did a little grinding on that. But that fits over my rider bit, so it can move and then you know, control the exposure of my rider bit there. And over here I drilled another hole. I'm going to put a 3-inch duct in there and then adapt it to 4-inch. May have to close off the ends so that it creates a vacuum in there where I can get good dust collection right there. Let me show you how I'm going to make this move parallel. I thought for a long time, put racks out here and maybe a cable drive system that kept it parallel. Thought about putting two rules in here where you can adjust each side and then take a measurement. I just couldn't come up with anything without a lot of gears and pulleys and whatever. But then it dawned on me how to do it. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, I've made a 5/8 bar here with a couple of blocks. And it's a good fit there. I thought about putting bushings in there, but I figured steel on steel would be okay for as much as it's going to move. I'm putting this right here. And I'm going to clamp a couple of arms to it. One right here and one right here. And then have an arm coming to my fence so that when I move one side, both sides move. So my next step, I need to make a bar right here, and I need to determine the right length of everything. Should have pretty good travel. I'll probably make it about that long, and that should be enough travel. So I got to make this bracket right here, and that's the next step. Yes, this is too fast for a reamer. But I don't have a slower drill press. Now I'm drilling a clearance hole halfway through. It'll be clear in a minute why I'm doing this. Got the depth stop set so it'll only go halfway through. Now I need to tap through that hole the other half of it. Now, that half is tapped and this half is clearance. And I'll make a cut right there, and a bolt will pull that together and it'll clamp on that 5/8 shaft. Before I do that, I'm going to do the second piece. I like it. That's a 1/4 inch hole, and I used a 1/4 inch drill to mark the hole. Now I'm using number 7 drill, and it'll go in the center of that hole, and this will be tapped. Well, that's not as good as I thought it would be, but flexes a little more than I would like. Probably should have used 1 inch bar on that. I think it'll be okay. Well, I get this big chunk of surplus aluminum. I'm going to use that as a clamp. And I'm going to mill that section out right there. And then cut it in half and put 1/2 on one side and 1/2 on the other. I will come up with some kind of hand wheel for that, some kind of knob. Okay, I changed my mind here. I'm going to enlarge that hole so it transitions from 3 inch to 4 inch a little more efficiently. Put that adapter block on there. That means I got to enlarge this hole. Okay, I gotta put some Teflon tape or some UHMW tape underneath that so it slides easy. There's my adjustment. Okay, let's make some knobs for these lockdowns here. Yeah, let's try knurling this thing. Try the new knurling tool again, put it in back gear. Oh, it looks good. That's a good knurl. I like it so far. I'll probably have to put some kind of like slippery surface right here, either steel or UHMW, something like that. Right now I got to put some ends on this tube to stop the vacuum from leaking. It works, but it'll be better if they're plugged up. That ought to work. Yeah, the lockdowns work good. I guess the next step is to take it off and paint it. This is acetone. It's a great degreaser and it will etch the paint quite often. Well, that about wraps it up for today. I'm waiting for some paint to dry, and I'm waiting on some plastic to put on the front of the fence. Let me show you the options I got here. Basically two kinds of plastic I'm looking at. One is UHMW, which is really good for any kind of friction surface. But there's one that's really close to UHMW that's called HDPE. I think it's going to be a lot better for the fence because it's more rigid. It's got the same smooth characteristics as UHMW, but I think it's going to be better. This fence here, you'll notice I've got an adjustable, the old fence. The gap around the bed is adjustable. Here's what I did with the old fence, and I think it was overkill. I did it for wood. Wood moves and contracts and bows and everything with moisture. And plastic's a whole lot more stable. And I think this will do good with just 2-inch slots in it and screws from the front. But anyway, that'll be part 2. When the plastic gets here, I'll probably have it up within a week. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and be sure and subscribe.